gonna start the stream. And then just...
Bro, I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. So it's actually pretty specific. So when I'm gaming, I don't like listening to really good music due to the sole purpose of DMCA, right?
Yeah.
So like I can't really listen to...
Internet's running like dog shit.
Mine is?
Yeah, it's not loading up Twitch on my shit.
Well, it's running perfect on Twitch right now. Like, literally perfect.
Hell yeah.
So...
Says you're live.
Live, excellent, yeah. So you're there?
It's not loading up though.
Are you on this particular...
No, I'm on a different one.
Like, name?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Alright.
Yeah, I don't know. Internet's not working good on the old iPad. Channel is offline. What? How is that even a thing? It's because it switched me over. That's weird, dude. That's dumb. There it is. Okay.
That was obnoxious.
There's a delay.
There's always a delay. There's always
Yep.
going to be a delay from what
Yep.
we watch.
Right, because
To-
go to the interwebs.
Correct, yeah. But what we have on
Gotcha.
our actual OBS thing is always going to be on point.
Oh, for sure.
So, I don't even think, honestly, we should even have it on.
Well, no, we
Or
should.
the chat thing, just in case. That show is... Okay. You're the one viewer, aren't you?
Yeah, probably.
Good. So you're not signed in under the normal name?
No. Yep.
What is this fucking called?
What are you looking for?
What's that program called?
The program you're looking for, buddy.
Okay, let's try this.
you trying to do, bud? Make a playlist?
Fucking hate this. All right, stay tuned. Del and Pinky coming up next.
Yes, sir. I just been sitting here patiently waiting.
For what?
The end of the world tomorrow.
I can hear you breathing. It was. Now I know why Stephanie yells at you so much.
Fucking mouth breather.
You were too. You were breathing right out your mouth. It was loud. Jesus, Fatso.
Talk about my weight like that.
Yeah.
Took my headphones.
That's why they seem so small. Hey, it's Dylan Pinky, everybody. Week 8 in the NFL is almost complete. Tampa Brady Buccaneers are having problems with the New York Giants.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't mind seeing him struggle, but
Well,
this is it's just interesting to see, New York actually hanging on to this.
well, they've been able to run on them. That's what I've noticed in a couple penalties.
Well, they have to run on him because you can't trust Daniel Jones with the ball all game. That's a fact.
No. What is it? Something like 20-some turnovers in 17 games or whatever. Something ridiculous.
It don't matter how you turn it over. He is doing it.
Yeah. He's pretty good at it. Same with Carson Wentz, as we seen last night.
Yeah, and he still beat the pants off of the Jets. Or
Dallas.
Dallas, yeah.
Tells you how bad Dallas
What's
is.
the difference? Dallas, the Jets. And apparently if you play in the AFC East or the NFC East, you're probably overrated.
The Bills are pretty good. They go as Josh Allen goes, though.
Honestly, I think the Bills are overrated.
You think so?
Yep.
I don't think they're a contender. I don't think they're overrated.
Their wins are against not good teams. Until you prove that you can do it against good teams, year to year, it's different. Like, I can't, just because you did it last year, I don't trust you to do it this year, especially if you're only in your third or fourth year. Josh Allen is progressing every year. I give him that. But the team overall is overrated. And it's going to be one of those, who's going to be the first to, throw their head in.
I guess if you...
It's the Bills to lose.
It's how you look at it in the light. You know what I'm saying? What kind of light you look at him in. Because, honestly, I don't have them as a contender.
Right.
But where they're at is where I expect them to be. I don't have them overrated or underrated. I still think the cream of the crop of the AFC is that
Properly
KC and Pittsburgh. That's the cream of the crop, and you have a couple other good teams in there in the AFC before we mentioned the Bills, like the Ravens and whatnot. Even the Indianapolis Colts with that defense, you really can't take them out of the equation either because their defense is just absolutely stellar. So as long as Phillip Rivers don't turn over the ball, that is. But other than that, in Tennessee, Tennessee's in there as well. But as far as that goes, man, I don't necessarily think they're overrated, but they're definitely not a contender. Josh Allen still has a lot to prove, and like I said, they go as he goes on offense. And their defense is just, as far as last year, they were pretty good. This year, they're just steady. They're not really going to blow your socks off or anything. So that's just how I feel about that, mainly.
Oh. Yeah, well, whether they're at the top of their division or not, I agree that they're not contenders. They're just simply not going to win a playoff game or.
Well, they might win a playoff game this year because of the extra wild card.
Perhaps.
So
depending on the matchup, but maybe not.
Oh, they're going to probably be the best of the. Oh, probably not because, like I said, I just mentioned 4 teams that are on the par or better. So. Yeah,
I'm not really sure who I would trust them to beat in the playoffs.
I don't know.
By the way, all the music that you hear
AFC
is
West.
originally made here in the studio with Dylan Pinky.
Yeah, it's all that good shit.
We ain't downloading shit.
No copyright problems here, buddy.
But yeah, Week 8 was interesting. There was a lot of surprises.
Yeah, a lot of upsets, man, that we really didn't see coming. I mean, that we totally had wrong. Like, absolutely had wrong.
Right. Well, the first biggest surprise, I think, I don't know, maybe not the biggest surprise. We'll have to rank them later, but Joe Burrow and Cincinnati beating Tennessee.
Yeah, or Miami, LA was mine.
See, that was a surprise. I agree. That was a surprise. I honestly thought that Miami was going to play really well and it was going to be a tight game. I didn't expect the Rams to play so terribly.
They played bad.
That was probably the surprise of the game, is that the Rams didn't even make it interesting.
Yeah, Jared Goff had a horrible game.
Not to mention, part of this segment here is 3 surprises and 3 disappointments.
Yeah, absolutely.
And honestly, I'm disappointed that we didn't get that shootout or that close game, so we could really see what Tua was sort of made of. I mean, 12 for 22. He
less than 100 yards.
He didn't need to play that well. It was like
he didn't.
It was just like watching
the special teams and the defense really showed up.
Yep.
That made a big difference.
It really does. You could see the whole team stepped up for this game to be a special game.
Yeah, and they did a really good job. We have, me and you both, we like LA.
Yeah.
We think they're a pretty good team. So for Miami to come out and just stymie them pretty much is pretty damn impressive, really.
So what else happened? What other surprises were there? Some interesting stuff.
Well, yeah, I have it pulled up right now. We're gonna check it out. I mean, we had a surprise to us because we both had the Browns beating the Raiders, and the Browns only putting up 6 points against that horrible defense. That was a surprise.
The surprise there is, not that the Browns lost, but that just like the Rams, man, they just didn't make it interesting whatsoever.
Yeah, the Packers losing at home to the Vikings. That was crazy.
That's probably the most surprising thing that happened all weekend for me.
Yeah, the defense just really let the Packers down in this game, to be honest with you. And it took a while for Aaron Rodgers and the offense to get rolling, it was really just a bad game all the way around for that team.
Minnesota wasn't going to lose that game. They had come out and decided as a team that they were going to win. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of as a 1-5 team beating the Packers on the road, right?
Yeah, it was in Lambeau.
They had no business winning that game, but they had just decided, you know what?
Well, Delvin Cook really put that team on his shoulders and said, "Screw you, I'm doing my thing," and that's what it is. He had 4 total touchdowns. The guy was he was unstoppable. Really.
Another big surprise for me, I thought that after, even though I'm a Lions fan, after you've been your heart broken so many times, and you've been jaded for long enough, you can really start to look at the team objectively. And I expected them to score more. I expected them to do more. I expected the defense to at least hold up a little bit. I expected it to be a little bit closer, but it was just a blowout. I saw with my own eyes the one call or one drop pass or a sack that led to the next bad thing, that led to the next bad thing. That next thing you know, within literally it felt like 3 minutes, we were down by 3 scores.
Right. And my thing was looking at that game. I thought our defense was going to hold up against their offense.
Right.
I obviously knew that the Indianapolis Colts defense is stellar. They're a very good defense. So I knew
Darius Leonard's the man.
For us putting up as many points as we did, it was pretty surprising to me, to be honest with you.
For sure.
But I thought our defense would have played a lot better coming off the 2 weeks that we had good games defensively. Granted, they're against bottom-tier teams, but the Falcons are actually a pretty good offense. So we stymied them pretty much, even though it was a rather high-scoring game. I mean, it was still
Matt Ryan and Phillip Rivers are both old heads, and
yeah, for sure,
neither of them really have anything to offer the future of this game. And yet, one played way better. One team played way better. Atlanta's team is just not good.
They're not good.
But the Colts have much better players, and Phillip Rivers is
pretty good.
Is a better game manager than Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan is more getting into more gunslinging. I mean, he just has He has great weapons.
He's Matt Stafford of the NFC South.
He can basically keep that gunslinging attitude. Where Phillip Rivers is kind of like, okay, well, this is a new situation, new guys, and he's got to figure out his role and how he can work with these guys, and the whole team is kind of have to build a new identity. And I mean, they sort of are, but they're not that consistent. I just thought that we were going to catch them in a week where it was going to be a tight game, but they just made us look bad.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to DK Metcalf. He had a huge game against the Niners. He went hard.
I thought you were talking about the Indianapolis and Detroit game. That was absolutely so random.
I was just so off the Lions.
You just had to say that, or you were going to forget to say it?
Yes, because I hate the Lions. Let's be real. I hate them and I love them.
Why don't you just hold your comments about DK Metcalf till a possible segment where we're going to bring him up later, okay?
I'm just trying to move on here. But
okay. All right, right on.
I'm bruised.
Another disappointment. You got any more disappointments?
Not really. I mean, we had the Chargers. We both had the Chargers beating the Broncos. So, I mean, that was something we just got wrong. Not really necessarily a surprise.
Right. I don't mean necessarily like surprises and disappointments in that way, but like maybe there was like some like other storylines that could have developed as a result of like these matchups, and they just didn't.
Well, I mean, I looked for the Patriots and Bills game. I guess that was a pretty good game, but the Bills led all the way, didn't they? I think they led the whole game. So it wasn't even like it was back and forth. But I was expecting it to be back and forth, being a division rivals and,
Right.
changing of the guard there in the AFC East. So,
Well, Tampa Bay, I mean, I want to talk about them, but they're playing right now, and while I was hoping we could talk some good things about them, right now they're doing a lot of things that aren't worth talking about. Like
they're not playing good.
Like not playing good versus a really, really terrible team. I mean, what are Tom Brady's numbers right now? This can't.
Tom Brady is 16 for 24, 132 yards. He's been sacked one time.
And it seems that the Giants are running the ball.
Well, yeah.
7 carries for 31
Daniel
yards.
Jones is actually having an efficient game. And
Alfred Morris. Remember that name?
He's from the football team.
He played on the football team that one time.
Yeah, that one football team. I think they're in Washington.
Yeah,
Football team.
they're the football team now.
But yeah,
Tom Brady not that efficient. Leonard Fournette four rushes, 18 yards. Rojo's got 5 for 13 or 5 for 18.
Well,
and a fumble.
It's worth to note that the New York rushing offense has 63 yards against the number 1 rush defense in the league. So that in itself is quite impressive, and that's probably why they're winning the game.
Right.
They're kind of controlling the field, and Daniel Jones isn't turning it over, and he's pretty efficient right now, 11 for 17 for 100 yards and a TD. So he's been sacked once as well, but he's going to get sacked because he likes to leave the pocket a lot.
Oh yeah, that's going to happen.
Yep. And our boy Golden Tate had a 18-yard pass.
Oh man, it did not look like it was going to be good. But
dude, Golden got crushed.
He
after
did.
he threw the ball.
He did. He absolutely took it, man, like a man too.
He got
Good for him.
crushed, dude.
But yeah, I mean, why is this game going this way right now? Is there something in the building about Tom Brady coming back to New York that's got him spooked?
Man,
or...
I just think there's just so much parity in the NFL if you're not the New York Giants that any team can beat you at any given time.
I think what it really shows is that some of these teams, like the Giants 1-6, like the Vikings 1-5, whatever, they have the capacity to play with any team at any point. Right. The talent level on every team is almost identical. It's not even worth measuring. What goes into these winning teams is something more than just good players, which is what pisses me off the most about being a Lions fan. Is it didn't matter who you drafted. You could have lucked your way into something over the last 70 years or whatever.
Yeah,
but we can't luck our way into anything because we have some huge blockade in front of us, and it's ownership. From ownership on down, it doesn't matter. The players are going to get drafted no matter what goes on, from the top down. Players are going to get drafted. You're going to end up with a team at some point. And you can't even luck your way into a Super Bowl appearance with 2 of the most dynamic players that this game's ever seen in Calvin Johnson and Barry Sanders. Can't even sniff a Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, I was super disappointed about the 90s Lions just for the simple fact that Wayne Fontes was such an incompetent fool and the Fords just kept him around. We had so many All-Pros on that team and Pro Bowlers. It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
We don't have an identity.
But it was the ownership. I'm alluding back to the ownership.
Right.
They put too much faith in this coach who was, absolutely stagnant with everything he did, about getting his players ready. That team, those 90s teams were notorious for getting off to slow starts and having to come back and rattle off 6 wins in a row to make the playoffs and then get smoked by Philadelphia in the first round.
Right.
Whatever. But anyways, yeah. So the Lions, it's just ownership. But as far as these two teams go, I mean, at least both these teams have won Super Bowls in our lifetime. You know what I mean? Talking about the Tom Brady's and New York Giants. So.
Right. I mean.
So it's a little different when we look at these teams. Even though the New York Giants are bad right now, they still have tradition. They still have shit to be, happy about.
When they won that one, when they beat the Patriots the first time, and that was their first championship, and since Phil Simms or whatever, and they were like, all those years of losing. Those years of losing?
Right.
Boy, you don't know what losing is.
You might as well just come over here and smack me in the face right now because you just did it,
Right, and how many times did the Yankees
Christ.
win a championship during that period? You guys got your fix, all right? You don't need to win every sport every year.
Right.
Or
Boston.
Yeah, I mean.
Boston's just the same way.
Well, I mean, this year it's the Dodgers, right?
Yeah, LA's winning and everything. Tampa Bay was in the running.
So
for a few
are the
things.
Chargers or the Rams good enough to play in the Super Bowl this year?
No.
No.
Maybe the Rams, if they get hot, they have the players on the team, but it's all about them getting to play together.
Well, this actually takes us really into a perfect spot. The top 4 teams in the AFC and the NFC. The AFC is going to be a lot easier.
Right.
It's going to be harder to agree on a ranking system, I think. But we should probably get really close on the 4
Right.
teams.
Yeah, we just throw some teams
But the
out
NFC
there. We don't really necessarily have to rank them.
I like the ranking them though because
we can.
especially in the AFC because obviously the teams are going to be the same.
Right.
But we can
Right,
argue about the placement of them.
Yeah.
But the NFC is going to be interesting because I mean, with the extra playoff spot this year, and usually
There's a lot going on.
you have to be a pretty special team for a wild card to get hot in the playoffs.
Right. Right. Absolutely. And that's the thing. It's whoever does get hot and whoever's healthy, whoever doesn't have COVID. You know what I mean? It's like it's just one of those things. This is a very funky season, so anything can change at any given time, and that's just the truth of the matter. But man, if we're starting to look at AFC teams, man, I got to go with number 1's going to be KC, even though we've been high on Pittsburgh, and then number 2 will be Pittsburgh for me, and then I got to throw in the Ravens. And then the Tennessee Titans. Those are going to be my top 4 teams in the order there. KC, for obvious reasons, reigning champs. Don't look like they're slowing down, even though they had a hiccup against the Raiders. But the Raiders have a lot of talent, so obviously they can get it rolling whenever they wanted to. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, defense speaks for itself. Ben Roethlisberger steadies that boat. They got a nice crop of receivers, nice young receiver in Clayton. That's just a monster, and he really needs to be put up on a pedestal and recognized for nominee for Rookie of the Year, in my opinion. And then Baltimore Ravens, they got dynamic playmakers on both sides of the ball, just nasty. Jackson can take over a game at any time with his feet or throwing, as long as it's not more than 40 yards down the field. And then the Tennessee Titans, that's just a hard-nosed football team. That's a man's football team right there. And when you play man football, you can see what happened with them going to the championship game last year, and they did nothing but got better this offseason. So, we'll see what goes on. I mean, Clowney and company over there on that defense should be doing a lot better to getting after the quarterback, and I see that improving as the year goes on. Yep. So that's really my 4 teams right there, dude, on the AFC.
I'm not going to disagree with any of your teams. Like I said, the AFC, we're going to agree on this. I think Pittsburgh's the most complete team. They are 7-0. They haven't lost a game. The Chiefs have lost a game. So I think when you do the power rankings, I think it's only fair to give the undefeated nod the first place in the power rankings. They've earned it.
I respect that.
They're an absolute complete team, and no one's going to take that away from Patrick Mahomes, who is an absolute
boss.
He is the most amazing quarterback we've seen in our generation. Better than all the ones that are about to retire.
Retired.
Peyton Manning was the man, but Peyton Manning did it all by himself. And Pat Mahomes is getting the royal treatment with Andy Reid. And when Andy Reid retires, Pat Mahomes is going to have some of the best knowledge. He is going to run that field. Anyways, meanwhile, there's still an amazing offense, but not a great defense. And I think that Pittsburgh is going to be able to play great against that team. And it's not going to be as close as everybody thinks it is. But I agree with you also. 3rd place would be the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens are a great team. I don't see them. I'm sorry. Baltimore Ravens are a very good team. They're not a great team. I don't see them beating the great teams because they are as one-dimensional as they are. They're so reliant upon Lamar Jackson having an incredible solo performance rather than.
Defense is good, though.
The defense is great. I mean, it's not even about the defense. It's never been a question about them. They're going to stop.
Correct.
They're going to slow down the other team a lot better than a lot of other teams will. But the point is, I mean, Lamar Jackson is great, but other teams are going to zero in on him, and they're going to shut him down. The good defenses will shut him down, and the great defenses absolutely will. And he'll have to figure out somewhat. And he hasn't proven that they can do that. So until they prove that he can do that, he's going to be 3rd, and so will they. And they won't get to a Super Bowl until they make that next step, or he makes that next step. I think honestly, it might just be a dynamic receiver. It might just be that simple for them.
Right.
Like a Percy Harvin type, like a smaller guy. that can just, make a bunch of people miss and take kind of the focus off of Lamar, and he doesn't have to throw it far.
Well, those running backs have to get running for him.
I mean, yeah, that's absolutely. They were really well. They played really well last year, and it hasn't really carried over fully this year. But I mean, the Tennessee Titans are another team that really kind of I don't really like. I wish there was more top end, good teams in the AFC than just these two, because it does seem like it's just Pittsburgh and KC to meet in the championship.
Well, Indianapolis is nasty too, man. Their point differential, I think, what does it look like here? Looks like third in the NFL. Yeah, they're third in the NFL in point differential, man. And they just got their stud defensive end back, who I can't remember his name right off the top of my head. And they look like a totally different team against the Lions after their loss the week prior to who was it? I can't remember now. It's just so much
a lot of teams look
information.
amazing versus the Lions, though.
Yeah, granted, but still, I'm paying attention to these, and they've only allowed 136 points, which I think is second or third in the league. Which Miami looks like they're number one out of all crazy teams.
Right, but in the end, I just don't think that I just don't think that Tennessee's defense is good enough to hang with the big bosses.
Mm-hmm. Third down defenses.
Yeah, I mean, Derrick Henry. Nobody's gonna lie. Nobody's gonna tell you any different. He's the best running back in the league. If anybody tells you different, then they probably don't think Aaron Donald's the best player in the league. So
Correct.
Don't listen to that person. Either way, I think that those are the four best teams in the AFC, and my pick to make the Super Bowl is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Chiefs here as well, out of the AFC.
Just because, I mean, Patty, man.
You can't.
Would you stop it? You're making everybody else look bad. 416 yards and 5 touchdowns. I mean, it was versus the Jets. They were favored by 20.5.
That's still a professional team.
And they covered with style. So you got to give it to them. In the NFL, it's hard to cover a 20.5 point spread.
Daniel Jones just threw an interception.
No, he didn't. No
Yes,
way.
he
That
did.
is so unlike him.
Yes, he did. That's like turnover number 9,000.
Okay, so we got 14 minutes left in the third quarter, and it's 14-6. Tampa Bay, I mean, I can't even.
That's going to be the turning point of the Tom Brady's right there, dude. They're going to win by 20 now.
All right, so the four best teams in the AFC. It looked like before we even mention this, I'm going to count out the four best records.
Sorry.
And wow. So the NFC West, Seattle 6-1, Arizona's 5-2, the Rams are 5-3. Then you have the Saints are 5-2, Buccaneers are 5-2, Green Bay's 5-2, Bears are 5-3.
We don't need to talk about.
We don't talk about the NFC East. Yeah, they're terrible.
Yeah, they're out.
First place has 3 wins, so
They're out of here.
you're out of here. Let's just assume that Tampa Bay is going to lose this game. They're going to be 5-3. Just for the sake of this conversation, I still put them in the top 4.
Even if they lose this game, so do I.
Even if they do. Okay, so in no particular order, because I'll order them later. I don't think orders really matters yet, but I think Seattle is the best team in the NFC. It's not real. I don't think that's really a question.
I agree.
I don't think that they're going to need Russ every single game. Their defense isn't that great, and he's just showing up every game. So.
Mm-hmm. Even when he throws 3 interceptions, he still has a stellar game and is in contention to win the damn game.
Right. And I called every single bit of that. Although I called nothing nearly as good this week, not even one. I was wrong about damn near everything. But last week,
we didn't do good.
I did call that.
Yeah, I was going the other way. I got that one wrong.
I called something else this week. It was New England losing again to Buffalo.
Yeah, we both had that.
Oh, yes, we did. Okay, so I can't take full credit.
Blah.
Although I may have influenced you. Maybe you influenced me. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Seattle's the best team, Tampa Bay, New Orleans, and, God, I can't even really say it, but I have to, but it's got to be Green Bay. And the only 2 teams I see making the Super Bowl are Tampa Bay and Seattle, and that's going to be a great NFC Championship game. I honestly can't wait to see it.
All right, number 4. Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Number 4.
Just for the simple fact, Tom Brady, he's old. He's old, and he does have it. We've seen it last year. His arm became a noodle arm at the end of the year. So I don't know if he's going to be able to get it down the field to these big receivers. Luckily, they picked up Antonio Brown and to right the ship maybe for the dink and dunk, But that's my number 4. Their defense is stellar.
So wait, the
obviously.
team that added Antonio Brown, you're picking as the 4th best team in the AFC?
Fourth.
Okay,
Fourth.
NFC. Go ahead.
Yes, 4th. The secondary for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is not nearly as good as their rush defense. So you come up to a good QB, which I'm surprised Aaron Rodgers didn't do better against them. It just came out to play against the Pack.
What's their blitzing? Their blitzing schemes.
Well, that's the thing too, is you have these hogs up front, so you get pressure on QBs. So they do very well at that as well.
Well, Todd Bowles, yeah. I mean, he's drawing up incredible. I mean, he's really doing his homework with the protections, and he's setting up these blitz packages that are just confusing the hell out of other quarterbacks.
This just mind you, this is right now, just halfway through the season. You know what I mean? So
For sure.
So this can change in a couple weeks. So given this just a weird season and teams change. We see it every year. Teams catch fire halfway through the season and make the playoffs and then make a mini run. And then with that being said, my number 3 team is going to be the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers has the ability to light it up at any time. He's still on the FU tour, even though he ran into the hiccup there with Tampa Bay. They got smoked after he did the hip thrust.
You mean Minnesota at home?
Well, Minnesota
yesterday?
At home, yeah, but I mean, he still scored points. He had a good game. I mean, he had a good game.
Hey, I'm going to wait till your list is done before I fucking smash you with this. This is awful. You just got done saying Tom Brady whooped the shit out of Aaron Rodgers.
He did.
And then
you
just put Aaron Rodgers ahead of Tom. I'm sorry. I keep saying the names of the quarterbacks. Tampa Bay beat the shit out of Green Bay, and then you put Green Bay ahead of them. That's great.
Right. Yes, I say that because I just see them being Aaron Rodgers is a better take over the game type guy, whereas Tom Brady is more of the game manager guy. His explosion, sure, and he's having a great season so far, second in touchdowns, whatever the fuck it is, but that's going to slow down. I don't see it continuing. So that's my whole thing, man.
All right.
So
based on zero evidence, but go ahead. What's your second?
Oh no,
best
it's not
team?
zero. We seen him decline. We've seen Tom Brady decline all through last year, and he started out good, and then they declined. They didn't even make the AFC.
Tom Brady's bread and butter is 15-yard passes.
For sure.
It's always been. He can still make 15-yard passes.
Right, but that's exposed now. That's a
always
weak point
been
of his game because he can't throw the ball downfield anymore.
It was also exposed that you put a lot of pressure on him in 2007, and you'll beat him. And then what did he do after that? He won 3 more Super Bowls.
Right, because they addressed the offensive line, and we're not going to.
I'm just saying, like, you can expose things all you want, but he just keeps rubbing Super Bowls in people's faces. And I think he's the ultimate make everybody around him better guy. That's why I think Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay can't touch Tom Brady and Tampa Bay because of that reason alone. Aaron Rodgers is going to go and sit on the bench when he's done. He's not going to walk up and down the side of the field and rah these guys and get on the asses of the defense or the offensive linemen. He's just going to get that look on his face like, I'm so disappointed.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
For sure.
It doesn't seem like he's not the take charge.
But I'm just saying, as of right now.
Right now. Okay, second best team?
Second best team. I'm going to go Nolan's. Nolan's has a really good defense. Although Drew Brees has that noodle arm action going on too, but I think they have the best running back in the game outside of Derrick Henry.
Honestly, I think Drew Brees' noodle arm is more obvious than Tom Brady's.
I think they're the same level. They're old, man. They're done. You know what I mean? Like I said, Tom Brady's having a hell of a season, and Drew Brees isn't having a shitty season at all. But yeah, like you said, he
doesn't have Michael Thomas. That's not fair.
Well, he has Alvin Kamara still.
Yeah, but that's.
He's like a combo receiver.
In order for Drew Brees to have the numbers, he needs a receiver.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, he needs the possession receiver that makes yards after catch. You know what I mean? A Golden Tate like.
They have Emmanuel Sanders. Am I right?
Yeah. But he's been hurt on and off.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say he hasn't really been loud this year at all.
Right. Well, the defense with Cam Jordan and stuff, and Lattimore and everything, they're really good. And
they're playing well this year.
And like I said, they have the second best running back in the league, or the best running back all around. If you want to say all-purpose guy in the league. They have other weapons on offense too, like Emmanuel Sanders, like you said, and then they have Taysom Hill, and and they bring in not Jalen Hurts. Who's their backup?
Quarterback.
Yeah, the other back. Oh, Jameis. Famous Jameis.
The guy who
They
goes-
don't bring his ass in. I'm thinking about the Eagles.
The guy who goes from leading the league in passing to I am a backup.
Yeah, that's the first time and probably only time we'll ever see that.
I mean, that's incredible. You can't really.
But anyways, so yeah, I have New Orleans number 2. Then obviously the Seahawks number 1. That offense is dynamic as hell.
Right. I know DK Metcalf. Now we can talk about DK.
DK
Metcalf.
is the man.
Like seriously, can you name a better receiver right now in the league?
You can't.
Like if you're
The eye test. I mean, we can talk numbers all day long about why
Right.
he's not the best, but the eye test,
Right.
DK is the best in the league.
I mean, he can't do that shuttle run, so I don't know. I can't really.
Right.
I don't know if I want him. I couldn't believe it that they had whatever that was. You know, when the draft is coming up, where they interview the best 5 to 10 players at each position. They're all working out in the facility and talking about their whole trajectory and their plans and what they're going to do for the draft and what they're going to even wear for the draft. But you know, that whole situation going on, and they're and it's him and it's DK Metcalf, N'Keal Harry, and a couple other guys, and they're working out and they're running, they're getting passes, and you can watching this, you're like, this guy is a monster.
He is giant.
He is way better at everything than all of them. Running, jumping, everything better. And I'm like, this he's going to go in the top 5 or the top 10. I couldn't believe it. Like, this is the first time I'd seen a player like this since Calvin Johnson. And then no receiver goes until the end of the round, and it's N'Keal Harry. And my first thought was, am I the only person that saw this video? And I said, what the hell happened? And somebody said, oh, well, his shuttle run was bad.
Well, questionable hands too.
Questionable hands, right.
But as far as those questionable hands go, they're still questionable, but I enjoy his mind state. He's strong-minded, because last week he had the drop in the end zone prior to his game-winning catch, actually the play right before. And Russ went right back to him, man, and he caught that ball for the game-winning catch, and that was it. I really like his mental fortitude there.
Maybe his bad hands have an advantage playing with Russell Wilson, who can just happen to put it in the exact perfect spot.
Right, puts it right in the breadbasket. It's right there.
It drops in. You don't even need to really grab it. It just kind of falls in.
Right, just put your hands how you would carrying the ball running.
It's amazing.
And
It's like watching Steph Curry shoot a shot. Like, his arc is so big. Like, some of these smaller dudes just do it different, and we're so used to seeing it done the other way, like with power and force. Like, Rashid lifts up and almost shoots it at he doesn't even have to shoot it at a big arc, because he's already got his 6'11" ass all the way up in the air,
way above the rim already.
But man, I mean, honestly, is there a receiver out there? I mean, we could go through each division and think about it, but is there a better receiver? Calvin Ridley's having a good season as far as touchdowns go. Julio Jones is, a good receiver, but DK Metcalf, I mean,
he's the man, dude. I mean, his teammate Tyler Lockett,
one of the most underrated receivers. I mean,
we talking about. We have Hop. Obviously, I think Hop's the best receiver in the league. Honestly, outside of Metcalf right now. Yikes, Metcalf's just doing some crazy things right now.
For sure.
But D Hop's still right there, man. I mean, I love D Hop, and Texans were crazy for trading him, and then they fired Bill O'Brien. What the hell? I don't get it.
I can't fucking understand it either.
These freaking games, dude. I don't the actual bargaining games and putting the chips on the table. I just don't understand it sometimes. It is what it is. I don't know.
Well, you know what? I think it's break time.
Yeah. We're gonna take a little break.
It's a beer and smoke break. So you guys have a beer and a smoke, and we're gonna have one too.
Oh, really?
But I will do it never again.
vagina hairs. With chilled vagina hairs.
Iced vagina hairs.
They don't even need to be iced, dude. They're not a woman. They're attached to one body.
Right, so they're ice already.
There's fucking cold as ice. I'm willing to sacrifice our love. You know what you can do? Yeah, but Hunter would have to have
Twitch.
yeah. That's not what I'm thinking about. What about, can you Skype on Zoom? Or can you Skype on Twitch?
Can you Skype on Twitch? Our experts have been doing some. I've been doing some share play on PS4 recently. I've been reconnected with friends through the lockdown. I would like to take the same with some PC games also. I set up a Twitch account yesterday, which was easy and set up.
Filthy.